On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sodder family gathered inside their home in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia. Like millions of families across America, they were celebrating the holiday together. The children laughed, played with new toys, and enjoyed the warmth of home on a cold winter night. No one could have imagined that before sunrise, their lives would be changed forever. George and Jenny Sodder had 10 children. That evening, several of the younger children begged to stay up later and play with their Christmas gifts. Their parents agreed. Around 10 p.m., George and Jenny went to bed while 5 of their children remained downstairs. A few hours later, just after midnight, the telephone rang. Jenny answered. A strange woman on the other end asked for someone she didn't recognize. Loud laughter and unfamiliar voices could be heard in the background. Jenny thought it was a wrong number and hung up. Before returning to bed, she noticed something unusual. The lights in the house were still on, the curtains were open, and the doors were unlocked. She checked on the children, then went back to sleep. Around 1 a.m., Jenny suddenly woke up to the smell of smoke. She opened her eyes and saw flames spreading through the house. Panic erupted instantly. George and Jenny rushed to wake their children. Several family members escaped through the front door. But 5 children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were still believed to be upstairs. The parents screamed their names through the smoke and fire. No answer came back. George desperately tried to reach the upper floor using a ladder that was usually kept beside the house. But when he ran outside, the ladder was missing. He then attempted to use one of his trucks to climb onto the roof and rescue the children. Strangely, both trucks refused to start, even though they had been working perfectly the day before. The fire spread rapidly. Within a short time, the entire house was engulfed in flames. The family could only watch in horror as the building collapsed. By the time firefighters arrived, the home had been completely destroyed. Authorities concluded that the 5 missing children had died in the fire. But almost immediately, disturbing questions began to appear. When investigators searched the ashes, they found something unexpected. No human remains were discovered. Experts told the family that the fire had burned so intensely that the children's bodies had been completely destroyed. However, George Sodder refused to believe it. He later learned that even in extremely hot fires, some bones usually remain. Then more strange details surfaced. A telephone repair worker reported that the family's phone line had not burned in the fire. It had actually been cut before the blaze started. Witnesses also claimed they had seen a man near the house that night. Another witness reported seeing the missing children looking out of a passing vehicle shortly after the fire. Months later, a woman operating a hotel said she had seen children matching their descriptions traveling with 2 adults. Another person claimed to have served the children breakfast at a restaurant hundreds of miles away. None of these sightings could be confirmed, but together they raised a terrifying possibility. What if the children had never been inside the burning house at all? The mystery deepened because George Sodder had previously received threats from people who disagreed with his outspoken opinions. Some believed the fire may have been intentional. Years passed, but George and Jenny never stopped searching. They erected a massive billboard along a highway displaying photographs of the missing children and offering a reward for information. Thousands of travelers saw the sign over the years. Then, in 1968, more than 20 years after the fire, a shocking piece of evidence arrived. The family received an envelope containing a photograph of a man in his 20s. On the back was a handwritten message suggesting he might be Louis Sodder, one of the missing children. The resemblance was remarkable. Hope returned. The Sodders hired investigators and followed every lead they could find. But the trail eventually went cold. No one could prove whether the photograph was genuine. As the decades passed, the mystery remained unsolved. Did the 5 children die in the Christmas Eve fire? Or were they kidnapped and taken away while their family believed they had perished? To this day, no definitive evidence has answered that question. The disappearance of the Sodder children remains one of America's most haunting mysteries, a story filled with missing evidence, strange sightings, unexplained events, and a family that refused to stop searching for the truth. More than 70 years later, the case continues to fascinate investigators and historians alike. And perhaps the most chilling part of all is this: the Sodder children were never officially found. They simply vanished into history.